everybody, it's Christine and Razzle. Uh, Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to do my weekly wrap-up, and she's gonna help, apparently. Last week, you gonna lay down? Hey, you gonna lay down? You know. I read The Selection by Kirkas. I gave it a 4. I'm still debating whether to give it a 5 or not, because I really did enjoy this. I don't watch The Bachelor, I don't watch The Bachelorette, I don't watch any of that stuff because reality TV just drives me mental. Mental. So this was really good. There was a few characters that you don't get to learn much about, which, and then there's a few characters you just want to drive a nail into their heads. Not that I would do that, but So yeah, a couple was laughing, and a couple I really didn't like, but I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was probably what I needed to read at the time. So yeah, it did its purpose. Are you gonna lay down? Let's put you over here for now. There. Okay, the next book I read was The Next Always, the book 1 of the Impotent Boonsboro trilogy by Nora Roberts. And again, I gave this a 4. It's about 3 brothers, and this one in particular, the story is Claire and Beckett, and they bought this inn. They've seen it deteriorating over time. It was built, I think, in the 1800s, and so they, as a family, including their mother, have bought it, and they're renovating it and going to make it into a bed and breakfast. And Claire owns the bookstore across the street. Yeah, there's a stalker issue in here. There are paranormal ghosts, and I really did like it. It was something I needed to read now. So gave it a 4, and I really enjoyed seeing like the friendships and the relationships. Beckett is a true gentleman. He doesn't want to take things too fast. He wants to be able to take care of Claire, but not in the sense of not letting her be her own person. He wants her to be her own person, but he also wants to help her out and her 3 kids, because she's a widow. Her first husband got killed in Iraq. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to book 2 and 3. So then I finally finished Type 2 Diabetes. Jenny Brand Miller, Kay Foster Powell, and Stephen Colagieri are the authors. And I gave it a 4 too, not because it was interesting, but in a way it was. But I found that even if you're not diabetic or pre-diabetic, they give you some good pointers so that you don't become diabetic or pre-diabetic. And I found that reading this book, because as you know, my best friend had passed away just after I turned 20, and she had type 1. And the rules back then, because this is going 20 years now, the rules back then for diabetes were so very strict. And when I was diagnosed with type 2, it was very scary. And reading this book kind of calmed me down and eased me and made me more comfortable and coming to terms and coming to peace with the diagnosis. So for that, I'm truly grateful for this book. But yeah, it helps you make better choices. It helps you, it pretty much says, yes, you have to watch what you're eating, but an occasional, thing is not going to hurt you. So things have gotten, and have gotten better. And also things that they used to say would raise your blood sugar don't necessarily raise your blood sugar anymore. So if you're in that boat, I, highly recommend this one. And I don't really want to talk about this one too much, because I will be finishing it today, and so I'm gonna put it in my weekly wrap-up anyways. This is pretty much going to be a 2. It's Playing Safe by Claudia Jameson, and by the look of the cover, you'd almost think it was from the 70s, and it was written in 1988. So it's about this woman who's father is a member of parliament, and this takes place in England. And their new neighbors are Demetrius and his sister Melissa. And she has fought to go about on her own. Rather than getting daddy's money, she went to school, paid for it herself, and opened up a salon. And so she's very proud of that fact. And he comes into the picture as their new neighbors, and he's part Greek, part English. And not that that has any bearing on anything, but it is used in here as, well, he's Greek, so he's allowed to be like that kind of thing, mentality. And I have to say that the relationship in this book is very bad. It is abusive. It is possessive. It is jealous. I mean, the first couple of times he meets her, he's insulting her. And he's insulting her intelligence and her smarts. And then he's telling her, well, you will eventually listen to me and do as you're told. And really, 1988, things were not like that anymore. I mean, I was in grade 8 back then, but people weren't treated like that. Or, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to describe, but the way he's talking to her is super possessive. And the other bad thing is sometimes she stands up for herself, and then sometimes she just says, well, I shouldn't be liking this, but I really do, and it turns me on. And no, sorry, he would have got a slap across the face, which he does get in here, but she goes from slapping him across the face to kissing him. I'm sorry, but when somebody insults me, I slap him across the face, kick him in the nuts, and I'm gone. Sorry. And so I really think this is such an abusive relationship that I will only give it 2, because for some instances she does stand up for herself, but the majority she doesn't. And she actually acquiesces. I can't even say that. She kind of okays his behavior, and then also she's defending him in her mind on, oh yes, it's my fault that things are happening like this, so it's okay for him to treat me like this because it's my fault. And no, it's not. Yeah. So I'm going to be finishing this just because I want to see how it, the relationship kind of changes, because it's romance, they're going to get together. But yeah, 2. So what I'm going to be reading this week, I'm hoping my copy of The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn arrives this week. If not, I will read it next month, because one of my loyal subscribers, thank you very much, has sent me their copy that they got free in Book of the Month box. So there's that. And so I'm going to be starting Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, and this is going to be my final book for my Triple RC challenge for the month of March. And then I'm going to be picking up Caretaker by L.A. Graff. It's the book 1 in the Voyager series, which is the only Star Trek I really watch, except for some of the original Star Trek, because if you didn't know, William Shatner, when he was on that, my dad looked like that at his age. So it, not that I think he's my dad or not, but it just reminds me of my dad, because that's what my dad looks like when he was the same age as William Shatner is in that show. So that's it. But we have decided on a book. I can't even remember the author's name for the March hashtag on the booktube shelf. And it is called Paper Butterflies, but I can't remember who it's by. And I have my copy on order from Book Depository, and I'm hoping that it'll be in. And it's actually, do that one. It's by Lisa Heathfield, if you can see that. Focus. There we go. So that is our pick for April. And yeah, so let me know if you've read any of these books, how you thought of them. Yeah, this one. Oh, like I know I'm harping on it. I am part old school. I like when a guy opens the door for me. I like the fact that I am a stay-at-home mom, or that I'm able to be a stay-at-home mom. But my husband's not the type of man that he feels, is it emasculated if I go to work, because I did work up until I got pregnant with my second child. I worked. So it's not an issue of me not working as opposed to me working. It's just we're in a financial position that I can stay home, and because of my back injury, I can stay home. I'm not forced to work and put my back out. But in the same thing, like, I wouldn't say I'm a full-fledged feminist, because I'm really not liking the way feminism is portrayed now. I'm okay with women working. If that's what they want to do, then do it. There are some things my husband can do that I can't do, and there are some things that I can't, or that I can do and he can't do. That's not saying that I can't do them. I'm just physically not able to. So I do believe that men and women are created equal. Color, whatever, is all men and women of any race, color, gender are created equal. And I was raised that way. And so was my husband. So it's, you know, seeing books like this that are written in the late 80s, early 90s is just, it's almost like taking a step back and saying it's okay for men to treat women like crap. And I really don't think that's right. So, yeah. Rant over. I hope everybody has an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Bye.